It might very well be the case that between US and China, they're politically opposite, economically competitive, and global public goods collaborative. And that might be a sustainable model in the future. But the dialogues need to be kept open because communication is key, as we know, in any kind of relationship. Keeping on talking, communicating, and seeing each other's perspective is, if anything, the foundation of having a stable and potentially better relationship going forward. For the US, I think it's important to focus on specific issues when it comes to China and where China's economic methods could be improved and to push back on where there is a perceived unfairness. On the Chinese side, I think it's important to keep open the opportunities and actually really embrace opportunities for foreign companies, foreign financial institutions to come into China, hopefully make lots of money in China, join the domestic competition, make the domestic companies also stronger, and vice versa. In fact, we need more international competition. I would like to remind in the US that it was Japan's rise in semiconductors in the 1980s that spurred the US to undertake a number of policy changes and innovation system that led to a huge technological boom in the 1990s. And in fact, the US regained the dominance in the chips industry thanks to Japan. And as a result, everybody, all the consumers, have better and cheaper products. In the renewable sector, China is leading in many fronts, and this cheaper and better technologies, more accessible for developing countries, will come from China. The most convincing stories happen on the ground. Chinese battery makers are in American EV cars, and they're building factories in Germany, and EV buses will have to work with Chinese companies, etc., etc. And that's the kind of competitive collaboration that spurs forward the technology frontier and makes the world better off. So with that kind of attitude, to embrace a new era of competitive collaboration in a positive way, rather than only taking a narrow national security lens, which can lead to a vicious circle that could be potentially calamitous, is something to be totally avoided. And a small yard, high fence might work, but it needs to be contained and not corrode into the broader economic segments that really are consumer oriented rather than having anything to do with real national security.